Lean, head tan, cold iron collar, under the mud we crawl. Heavy, the clock stopped ticking now. Silence, buried deep under the frost.
In 970 BC, a legendary king ascended the throne of Israel, wielding a fortune so immense that modern economists struggle to calculate its true value. King Solomon did not just inherit gold. He built a global financial empire that turned silver into something as common as stones in the streets of Jerusalem. But how did one man accumulate 25 tons of pure gold every single year? Historians often wonder if his astronomical wealth was merely a gift from the heavens or the result of a secret, complex blueprint for economic dominance that remains hidden from the public eye. Whispers of hidden mines and maritime trade routes suggest a level of logistical mastery that defied the limitations of the ancient world. Solomon established strategic alliances that allowed him to control the flow of precious metals across vast, dangerous territories. Yet, the true mystery lies not in what he possessed, but in the specific principles he used to multiply his riches exponentially. Was there a forgotten formula behind his prosperity that anyone could replicate today, or was it a divine anomaly lost to time? Imagine uncovering the exact methods used to generate a net worth exceeding $2 trillion in today's currency. The deeper we dig into the archives, the more we realize that Solomon's wealth was far more than luck. It was a calculated, ancient masterpiece of power. To understand the magnitude of Solomon's legendary riches, we must look far beyond the sheer weight of gold and focus on the unique geographical location of Jerusalem. His kingdom sat at the heart of a vital crossroads, connecting the vast trade routes of Mesopotamia to Egypt and linking the treasures of Arabia to the Mediterranean Sea. He did not view borders merely as territorial limits, but as highly lucrative collection points for the national treasury. He implemented a sophisticated system of military garrisons in strategic cities such as Hazor, Megiddo, and Gezer, ensuring total security for the caravans passing through his lands. This environment of peace and protection attracted merchants from every corner of the known world, who preferred paying high taxes rather than risking their merchandise in hostile, lawless territories. The strategy was brilliant and ruthless, turning regional stability into a valuable export product that was scarce in ancient times. Beyond land tolls, he established maritime partnerships with the Phoenicians, the undisputed masters of the seas, to reach ports that were considered geographical legends. The fleet of Zugibe, situated on the Red Sea, opened the doors for direct trade with the mystical and distant land of Ophir. From this region, ancient records point to the return of massive shipments containing hundreds of talents of pure gold, alongside precious woods and rare stones. This constant flow of capital allowed Solomon not only to accumulate metal, but to fundamentally alter the regional economy of the entire era. Historians mention that, under his management, silver became so abundant that its market value plummeted drastically in Jerusalem. The king understood the complex concepts of supply and demand long before modern economic manuals were ever imagined by humanity. Using abundance as a psychological tool of power, he never kept his capital stagnant, instead reinvesting it into massive infrastructures that served to demonstrate an image of absolute and unshakable authority. The construction of the temple and his personal palaces served as a diplomatic showcase that intimidated and seduced monarchs from the most distant lands. When the Queen of Sheba traveled thousands of miles to test his wisdom, she found more than just clever answers. She found a functional financial engine. She witnessed an administrative organization where every official had clear roles, ensuring nothing was lost to corruption or simple bureaucratic inefficiency. The provincial system created by Solomon divided the territory into 12 distinct districts, each responsible for sustaining the royal court during one specific month. This avoided the overtaxing of a single region and guaranteed that the supply of resources remained stable throughout the entire solar year. This rigorous logistics allowed the king to maintain a massive army of chariots and cavalry without ever depleting his essential financial reserves. The use of advanced metal alloys, such as refined bronze from massive kilns in the Jordan Valley, shows a technological facet few associate with antiquity. Solomon transformed technical knowledge into a competitive market advantage, exporting finished products instead of just raw materials. The result was a concentration of wealth that bordered on surrealism, creating a legacy of prosperity that continues to fascinate and challenge our modern understanding of ancient power. Solomon's true mastery resided far beyond his capacity to accumulate vast treasures. While other monarchs displayed brutal force through bloody military conquests, he exercised an intellectual dominance that silenced entire armies without firing a single arrow. The brilliance of gold in his temple functioned as a sophisticated tool of psychological warfare. It was a physical demonstration of sovereign divine favor, so overwhelming that it paralyzed any foreign attempt at invasion. Ancient accounts describe how every hammered gold object and every shield hanging on the palace walls communicated a clear message of insurmountable stability. Each detail was calculated to project an authority that transcended material wealth. Imagine the visual impact of a throne crafted entirely from ivory and overlaid with the finest gold from distant lands. Guarded by 12 lions, this masterpiece reached the subconscious of every diplomat who crosses gates. But what almost no one knows is that there is a hidden detail behind this facade of constant prosperity. If you want to dive deeper and understand the hidden mechanisms of this wisdom, we prepared a material for you in the description. This knowledge goes far beyond the historical surface, touching on management principles that many are still trying to decipher in modern times. His administration operated at a level of precision that involved the subtle psychology of the masses. He understood that the secret of lasting fortune was not merely the influx of coins, but the maintenance of a global reputation for absolute justice. This wisdom became a currency more valuable than the metal itself, attracting leaders seeking solutions. Archaeological records suggest he maintained a sophisticated network of informants and advisors who mapped price fluctuations in distant markets. This allowed for financial maneuvers that kept his treasury ahead of every regional economic shift. This commercial intelligence transformed Jerusalem into a data center for global trends. He knew exactly what the world desired before the demand even surfaced, creating a market through infrastructure that linked luxury to exclusive supply routes. Tensions rose as his influence expanded, generating both admiration and a silent envy in the shadows of neighboring empires. However, a system of strategic matrimonial alliances ensured that peace was maintained by powerful blood ties. Each marriage was, in reality, a long-term commercial treaty that eliminated the need for permanent standing armies at the borders. This drastically reduced state costs while securing the flow of vital goods through dangerous territories. This sophisticated social engineering allowed capital to be diverted toward the high-level technological innovations of the era. One such advancement was the large-scale copper smelting operations that provided tools for his power. The constant fire in these ancient forges symbolized an economy that never slept. It transformed raw ores into instruments of influence that were exported to every known corner of the world. Solomon's legacy remains a fascinating study of how the human mind can shape material reality. Through discipline and strategic vision, he built a world where gold was merely the shadow of his great and powerful intellect. However, this monumental structure of absolute power and shimmering gold carried within it a hidden seed of fragility that most historians overlook to this day. The true climax of Solomon's financial engineering did not occur on a bloody battlefield, but behind the closed doors of an administration that eventually demanded unsustainable social sacrifices to maintain the legendary luster of the temple walls. The most shocking revelation regarding Solomon's fortune lies in the fact that the gold, while physically real, was merely the surface layer of a tax system that became increasingly ruthless as the decades passed. To sustain the unprecedented luxury of 1,000 wives and the massive maintenance of entire cities dedicated to his cavalry, the king imposed a heavy burden that began to drain the vital energy of the tribes of Israel. While the ancient world looked on in wonder at the golden shields, the common people felt the crushing weight of a state growing disproportionately to the reality of the peasant families who produced the food. The management that began with divine wisdom and balanced justice eventually transformed into a voracious bureaucratic machine, where the individual was viewed merely as a unit of production for national wealth. Recent research in key archaeological sites suggests that forced labor, initially used on foreigners and prisoners of war, began to be subtly applied to his own citizens to accelerate his gigantic public works. This is the critical turning point where wealth ceases to be a sign of collective prosperity and becomes a symbol of individual oppression masked by grand aesthetic. The great historical revelation is that Solomon's method for building wealth relied heavily on the anticipation of future taxes and the creation of an infrastructure debt that following generations simply could not pay. He created an empire that depended on continuous expansion to avoid internal collapse, a logic that many modern financial experts compare to the dangerous economic bubbles of our contemporary era. When the gold of Ophir stopped arriving with the same predictable frequency, and the trade routes became unstable due to new regional conflicts, the mask of eternal abundance began to crack under the sun. What we truly learn from the Solomonic legacy is that strategic intelligence can create massive fortunes, but only ethical sustainability can preserve them for centuries without causing a drastic and bloody social rupture. The final secret was not found in hidden mines or occult rituals, but in the realization that a nation's true wealth is its internal stability and the satisfaction of those who build it. Solomon proved that it is possible to accumulate the whole world, but the actual cost of maintaining that gold might be the very peace he worked so hard to establish at the start of his long reign. Solomon's story serves as a mirror for humanity, revealing that the blind pursuit of accumulation generates a void that no amount of precious metal can permanently fill. The true revelation about his treasure is that it was simultaneously the maximum glory of an era and the fundamental cause of the violent division that would destroy the unified kingdom after his solitary death. The immense legacy of Solomon was never merely about the glittering weight of gold, but rather a silent, enduring lesson regarding the volatility of absolute power and the intricate nature of human greed. As modern archaeologists continue to excavate the shifting sands of what was once a unified, glorious kingdom, they do not merely find the physical remnants of grand palaces. Instead, they uncover the haunting echo of a sophisticated economy that once promised the heavens but ultimately delivered a bitter, lasting division. The mystery that remains today is not found in the geographical location of the legendary mines of Ophir, but in how such a wise man allowed his own monumental creation to consume him entirely. Perhaps the true gold of Solomon was his technical knowledge and administrative precision, or perhaps he discovered far too late that real prosperity resides in things that cold metal can never buy. History consistently demonstrates that great empires do not fall solely due to external invasions or foreign enemies, but through the invisible corrosion of their own moral foundations. The The system he engineered was so incredibly perfect that it left absolutely no room for the inevitable reality of human error, eventually becoming a gilded trap for his direct successors. Each golden shield and ivory throne served as a testament to a brilliance that forgot the fundamental needs of the people who labored in the shadows of the temple. Existam de tal nisso tudo que a maioria das pessoas nunca entende porque ninguém ensina o contexto completo. Nós estudamos isso mais a fundo, e isso muda completamente a visão sobre essas histórias. Se você quiser esse aprofundar da verdade, no que está por trás disso, preparamos a material para você na descrição abaixo do vídeo, que explica tudo de forma muito mais profunda. Today, we look back at the strategic techniques of Solomon as ancient precursors to our modern global markets. Yet we often ignore the devastating social cost of such unprecedented accumulation. If you possess the unique power to transform everything you touched into absolute, shimmering wealth, would you be truly willing to pay the heavy price of profound solitude that accompanied the end of this majestic reign? The silence within the ancient ruins of Jerusalem holds secrets that traditional economic theories prefer to ignore for fear of facing uncomfortable truths about the real value of human capital. If this deep journey into the heart of history has provided you with a new perspective, consider joining our ongoing mission to uncover other mysteries forgotten by time. In the end, wisdom is only truly useful when it prevents us from repeating the tragic mistakes of those who reigned before us between ivory thrones and pure gold. Solomon's massive fortune eventually vanished into the currents of time, but his cautionary voice continues to echo through the ages, reminding us that a kingdom's true worth is never measured in gold, but in justice.